Hi, this is Steve Horvath coming to you from the Philadelphia Outdoor Expo. I'm sitting here with the director of the North Carolina Beach Buggy Association, the NCBBA, Mike Metzger. I want to thank you for coming, Mike.
Thanks so much for having me today.
And
Appreciate it.
and I understand that there are some great issues going on in the Outer Banks, and you're here to fill us in on them.
Well, we're going to try to do that today. Our organization is an organization of about 5,000 members across the country and also in several foreign countries, all people that are very concerned about the fact that our national parks, seashores, recreational areas are being systematically closed or restricted by the Department of the Interior and the National Park Service is being restricted for all Americans. On the Outer Banks, we're faced with a very, very large issue where two organizations, the National Audubon Society and the Defenders of Wildlife, two conservation organizations well known across the country, have taken the National Park Service to court in an attempt to remove the public from the beaches of the Outer Banks. And a majority of the issues revolve around the protection of a bird called the piping plover, which is not an endangered bird, but it is merely a protected bird in North Carolina and in the nation. On the Outer Banks, we are experiencing closures for one of these little piping plovers, a very small bird, of 1,000 meters in all directions. And if you've ever been on the Outer Banks, you know that in many parts of the island, both Hatteras and Ocracoke Island, the islands are only 150 meters wide. So what we're experiencing is closures of the beach for pedestrians, for off-road vehicles, for people with dogs. In general, it's closed, period. And we feel that where the birds and the turtles need protection, as conservationists, our organization, the North Carolina Beach Buggy Association, has a foundation of conservation and protection of the Outer Banks. We feel it is a perishable resource, and we feel with our 5,000 members that through our programs, Operation Beach Respect, the scholarships we provide in the local community and so on, we're doing our part to protect the flora and the fauna of the Outer Banks. Unfortunately, we have some very overzealous organizations, the Audubon Society and also the Defenders of Wildlife, who have hired the Southern Environmental Law Center to represent them nationally in litigation with the National Park Service and also with the Department of the Interior. We're not talking about parks that you haven't heard of.
Right.
We're talking about Yellowstone.
Sure.
We're talking about Golden Gate Recreation Area in the greater San Francisco area. We're talking about Cape Hatteras National Seashore Recreational Area. We're talking about parks across the country where we are systematically, us, Americans, the owners of these parks, are being denied access for recreation.
Correct.
The Outer Banks National Recreation Seashore was donated by Americans for recreational use.
Absolutely
and
right.
And we are systematically being removed from our enjoyment and our ability to recreate on the Outer Banks.
Right. And the thing is, this goes a lot further than just inconveniencing somebody who wants to go on a beach. Tell me a little bit about the economic impacts of what they're doing.
The economic impacts are amazing. I compare the Outer Banks to the ghost towns of the Old West. When the mines ran out of silver or they ran out of gold, the towns dried up and blew away and became ghost towns. Effectively, the stranglehold that we are seeing on the Outer Banks with the restriction to beach access is having the same effect on the Outer Banks as the loss of silver, the loss of gold in the Old West.
Right.
It may take a while, but we're seeing often businesses close, people losing their homes to foreclosure. We see rental homes that are owned by people across the country that are vacation homes or a source of income being sold because the tourist, which is the gold and silver of Hatteras and Ocracoke Island, is going away.
Right. That area is definitely a destination area.
Absolutely.
It's the tourist trade is the backbone. Now the NCBBA. What is your actual? What is the mission of the organization?
Our mission is to provide free and open access to anyone while operating in a conservation and protection mode for flora and fauna, species, animals, and the like on the beach, and doing it with respect and support, and for the promulgation of the continuing beauty that we have on the Outer Banks. We have about 5,000 members, as I mentioned earlier.
Right.
And there isn't a person in our organization that would not say that conservation is at the very, very top of their priority list. It's such a beautiful place, and people that come there respect it and maintain what we have because of the enjoyment it provides for their families, and in many cases, such as myself, for over 30 years.
Right.
We have gone there.
Actually, one of my distant relatives wrote a book about the area.
Is that right?
It was called, I don't remember the relative's name right now, but it was called Ocracoke Island, the Pearl of the Outer Banks.
I believe that.
It was a long time ago. It's a beautiful place. For the NCBBA, I understand you have a website.
We do. It's the initials of our organization, www.ncbba.org. O-R-G.
And your membership is open. Just about anybody could join, correctly?
Our membership, people think that because we're a beach buggy organization, that we're the guys with the quads and the four-wheelers and doing crazy things on the beach.
And it's much the opposite of that.
Oh, my, as if ever. I have seen a four-wheel drive Rolls Royce on the beach at times. Some young fellas bought one out of a junkyard and put a four-wheel drive frame underneath a Rolls Royce. And if you think that's a beach buggy,
it's
not.
It's not. And a lot of people's common misconception is when you go on a beach and you talk about a beach buggy association, they think that the members have something that's skeletonized out and they're jumping over dunes and stuff. And really, the people in the organizations, because we have the New Jersey Beach Buggy Association up here, and they do a lot on Island Beach State Park, they try to leave as minimal impact as possible.
And that is exactly our foundation. Our great friends at North Carolina, or at New Jersey Beach Buggy Association, whose president is Paul Harris. Paul is a longtime resident of the Outer Banks. He shares his time with New Jersey. But Paul Harris and the New Jersey Beach Buggy Association are great friends of ours in North Carolina, and we support the same goals and mission that they do.
Yep. And I think you got maybe a tough uphill battle ahead of you, but we definitely wish you the best here at DelawareValleyOutdoors.com. Hey, this is Steve Horvath, wrapping things up. We're here at the Oaks Expo. As you can see, we're busy. Please visit North Carolina Beach Buggy Association's website. They've got a very worthy cause.